tell you the initial part. I mean, obviously the incubator is great. The people in this community are amazing, and being able to go through it with everyone is good. There's part of me, which I guess is why I was sort of delaying on this call with you, is like, gosh, feels like things are so slow. I'm so used to these kind of products. You make them in a weekend, make info products, you crank out a course the next day. It's taking forever. We do have prototypes, we've given out event samples, and all of that is really going great. So it's just taking time. It's something I'm not used to. So in the meantime, we'll just build our audience. Shared it in one of those success calls. So they said, oh, you got to post it. And so I think I went through is like, okay, so we had what I called a 9-figure mentor success call, which was pretty cool. Running our latest version of the Fit Life Challenge, which is getting members who are going to all love our products when they come out. We call them pre-event samples. This challenge originally, we started it back in 2016, actually, when I owned the CrossFit gym in Atlanta, and it's definitely gotten better over the years. I'd call it a corporate well-being performance challenge. We've got the 4 components of making sure people have proper sleep, mindset, nutrition, and exercise. But we've brought in some of the big guns, I guess you could say, because we gave them a lot of great information, but a lot of people said they didn't have one-on-one coaching. So we went out and partnered with actually Mark Sisson's group. He has My Primal, so it's My Primal Coaches. And so we were working with his coaches to come in, and we've just kind of blended it together so we can still provide all of our information, and they come in and do the one-on-one coaching. So it's really just taking it up a notch. So that's awesome. Right now in this corporate challenge we're doing is just about 100. I think there are 98 in it. We actually capped it because it was pretty pricey for the corporation. We initially said, okay, we're going to open at 50, and then the CEO agreed to expand it to 100. So we hit our cap. They're paying for that piece for the coaching, but then we also partnered with Inside Tracker. Pretty cool because you can see where you're deficient and be able to see the before and after and see the real science-backed data of people that are just getting better and feeling better. The stories have been amazing. There was one guy who had a heart transplant, had some issues. He was on insulin because his blood sugar just continues to spike. And for the first time in his life, he's now regulated it with our program through diet and exercise.
Holy moly.
Another lady who, great person, but just had never focused on a lot of the stuff. She had even admittedly said she couldn't even really walk very far. In the first 4 weeks of the challenge, she lost 12 pounds and went for a 6-mile hike. And it's like, it's pretty awesome. And then all these people, whenever we get samples, we send it to our Fit Life Challenge group first. And so they are all like, when are you going to get this stuff ready? Because they've had samples, but we're still waiting on that big production run, trying to stack the deck. The challenges, that's kind of like a passion project for me. I love that piece. So, I mean, that's not work. So yes, I would say I am running the overall vision and the setup of the challenge. And then really the Inside Tracker does their thing. They've got all that. And then My Primal Coach does their coaching. And when we did it in the CrossFit gym, it started as 40. So now we've upgraded 90 days. To really see the biometric data shift, it's got to be at least 3 to 4 months on this. So they recommend a retest that 4 to 6 months later. And we're looking to roll it out to other corporations coming soon. When you do something that you love, and I've always said, help people live fit and ignite the change that you wish to see in your life. And so to have people come back and like those 2 stories I just shared with you, I mean, somebody's like, I'll have insulin now and loving it. And we start our calls with successes, very similar to a lot of what we do here. Start with your wins. It's about losing weight, but it's more than that because I can play with my kids. I'm running around, and it's in all aspects of life. You're helping people get better. So they all know it's pre-launch, but we've gotten these from our manufacturers either to send us like prototypes or samples or just something ahead of time. What we did for one of our events, because I'm still sort of blending that line between, I still work at DLP Capital, which is a great firm that's into putting on a lot of events that truly make an impact in people's lives. Now they're focused on investors, borrowers, a lot in the real estate space, but you have in speakers that are really there about making an impact. The company, they talk about living in the 8 F's of life.
Tell me.
So it's the whole idea of like, you want to live fully in all aspects of your life, not just one, but you want, when you have that full like tire, like not a flat tire in one of the areas. The 8 F's are faith, family, finances, fitness, friends, fulfillment, freedom, and fun. And so if you're good in all of those, it's great. But like, if you're good in some, but your finances are not good, or your fun is not good, or your faith or your fitness, like if you don't have that, then you're going to have a flat tire and you're just not going to roll. And so it was kind of cool. The last event, I don't know if you heard of Trav Bell, the bucket list guy. I got to go before him, and I kind of kicked off the day doing a little gratitude meditation, kind of priming for the day exercise to get people up and going. And it's great. It's an amazing group of 400 to 500 people there. And then Trav comes out and does his thing. So it's just being able to be involved in little things like that to be able to make an impact with folks and get them going and let these people all try the samples. And then when they do, and the events, folks that are part of it said, this is great. And their next event is going to be actually in Puerto Rico on health and longevity specifically. And so that's when it's like, we want all of this. So it's basically for all of the attendees, multiple of the grain-free granola, the performance bar. Yeah, not to be negative, it's just working with the manufacturers, like trying to move things along and get it there. Again, why I thought this seemed a little premature for the call, just because I feel like there's so much about to happen. There's at least some cool stuff in the work. Brian talks about things all the time. He's like, this is so fun. There are so many parts of this that are just so fun. And you're really at a point in your life when I feel like I am really doing exactly what I want to be doing with my life. And I don't want to sound arrogant at all, but I feel like I've lived a very charmed life. To be able to say that I really think I am doing exactly why I'm here on this planet, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that's great. You get that from the group too, because I think a lot of the people here have been feeding into build an audience. And from what you've heard, obviously, I have been building an audience of people on what I'd call internal list, all these corporations that we're working with within our challenge. They're all buyers that but I have never done anything publicly. Really, everything I want to do is about Live Fit, Ignite Change in people's lives. So that's what has just started. The Live Fit, Ignite Change podcast, and have the first 3 episodes recorded. They're not edited yet. They're not going live yet, but probably, I don't know, within the next month or two. But they're going to be some pretty good ones. I mean, being able to interview the people we have, just being able to have another outlet. It's a little bit weird for me, I must say, because I'm behind the scenes and I really I can get up and lead a talk, an event, like getting up, on stage in front of 400 people. I'm fine. I made my first short, or what was it, an Instagram reel? I hardly even know what this stuff is because I've never done it. My 15-year-old is showing me what to do. And you post one, it's 5,000 views in 5 minutes. Maybe there is something to this. There's lots of cool stuff coming. So I think that's what's come out of so much of this talk about the 6 and 6 and doing the lives in the Facebook group. I mean, talk about all the footage. We haven't done that, but we've been doing this challenge since, like I said, 2016. And the last few years have all been on Zoom. I mean, the hours of footage and testimonials and successes we have is really just amazing. So we had one of the guys, he lost 30 pounds in the challenge, but then he stuck with it and he ended up losing 100 pounds over the course of the year. And their stories like that. Definitely.
And then what's it been like being in the incubator?
Definitely a great group. I think, again, all of the motivation and training, 2 things. One is having the expertise of the folks that have done it. Jason, we don't have the exact same avatar, but being that he serves the CrossFit community. I started there. I've now moved on more to that corporate well-being community, but still having that base and seeing just what he's done, it's really amazing. I think that from one side is having the people that have done it, hearing that story is really great. And then simply just being around a group of others, because it's just not normal to family and friends. You're going to start a multi-million-dollar what? And so, they're all definitely coming together. And what I think of, while they're separate email lists right now, I mean, that's going to be a very big part of it. Basically, when it launches, we'll have a launch party. When it does go live, we'll do the launch party, and it'll bring in people from our Fit Life Challenge community and the corporate community to both be on. And the way we kind of have it talking about it is probably do 30 to 45 minutes on a YouTube live and bring them on as guests and be sharing testimonials mixed with, here's more about our product, and then another testimonial, and then here's more about our product. And people will be talking about how not only did they do the challenge to be able to lose 100 pounds, but they tried the granola and it was amazing, and we ordered 2,000 of them, and you should too. I mean, so the idea is that we'll start on Amazon, at least at this point. We figured with this big of a launch team from the corporate group, the Fit Life Challenge group, and I didn't even mention it, the other group that is so huge, and actually I probably should have mentioned it earlier, played a massive role in this, is my boys' baseball team parents. Because really what we're talking about, and then I talk about the whole thing of what is Inrive Performance Nutrition. It's Fit Life Challenge compliant foods and drinks, which that's the paleo primal stuff. Who's our target market? Who's buying it? It's really for these people who are on the go.
Yeah.
So it's on the go youth athletes. How many people that are joining this have youth athletes? Something that they would love. That is going back to the true root of this. What I told you about last time, where it started, is we were doing a Fit Life Challenge with our boys and they didn't like anything. So I was like, can we make something that they would truly love that would be Fit Life Challenge compliant? And so that is really where all this started. And like, what are the on the go foods that they wanted? They wanted the bars, the cereals, the drinks, and stuff like that. So what can we do to make it great? And so my son has been the one, 15 years old, and my other son, who's 12, they take the samples to the cafeteria at their school. I take them to the parents in the stands at the baseball games. My 15-year-old is so precise. He comes back with, now this one was not sweet enough. This sample had too many nuts in it. I mean, he's fabulous. We've had some samples that have been awful. And I thought, yeah, this is tolerable. I mean, he is so into this that one of the shakes today, we were out at Fresh Market last night and it was like, we thought we saw something looked pretty close to what we were doing. So we bought it last night and he just texted me from lunch today. Is like, we can make this so much better. It was decent, but we could certainly improve it on the flavor, and went into all this stuff. He doesn't settle because really with the last bar sample, I was like, this is close enough. Let's go to market with it. He's like, do not. I do not love this yet. You've got to go back. And what we did, we actually worked out the formulation to do exactly what he wanted. I think that's why he likes to be involved in this one, because he wants some of the profits. It's definitely on track. And, I mentioned the Impact the World. It's definitely still, my wife and I years ago started that family foundation, the Light the Future Foundation. And certainly a part of this is going to go to that. Because I think being part of the incubator too, the other thing is expanded that mission, where before, like when I started my other business years back, a portion of every proceed was going to No Child Hungry. Like, I didn't take any of the money from it. We divvied it up either to, I think we gave, I don't know if it was half or 75%, but whatever the percent was, it went to the winners and it went to No Child Hungry. And, we kept nothing because it's just a passion project. I didn't want it. So that is how it started. That's something we've been doing for years. And in talking to the folks in the incubator, the idea of being able to let people give back on the packaging, being able to maybe even let them choose which one they're going to do, doing it. But like I said, too soon, because while the other sales are fine, it's performance nutrition products. Yeah. They're not officially sold. It's probably my only thing about so much going on. I need to be better about going in the group more often, like the Facebook group. I go into the groups more than I go into my own Facebook, but the grind continues to be one of the main things I ever read. And
that's like really cool.
I will.
Give your son a high five for me. All right, I'll talk with you again. Thanks.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.